There comes a moment when the empath finally sees the truth, and that moment is the narcissist's worst nightmare. Most empaths don't realize how powerful they are, not at first, because for most of their life, they've been told they're too sensitive, too emotional, too forgiving, or too understanding. But the truth is this: an empath is only vulnerable until they wake up. And when they do, the narcissist loses every ounce of control they once had. Today, I'm going to break down the psychology behind that awakening and why it changes everything. Empaths see the good in people. They feel deeply. They give without calculating. They love without holding back. And narcissists, they exploit exactly that. Not because the empath is weak, but because the empath is pure. They assume others have the same heart, the same intentions, the same emotional honesty. This is the empath's blind spot. They don't see manipulation because they don't use manipulation. But every empath reaches a breaking point, a moment where something inside them shifts. The awakening usually happens quietly, not with anger, not with revenge, but with clarity. The empath starts noticing patterns, the lies, the gaslighting, the emotional inconsistency, the manipulation, the guilt, tripping, the sudden coldness, the love-bombing cycles. They start connecting dots they ignored before, and then the empath asks the question that changes everything. Why do I feel drained around this person? That question is the beginning of the end for the narcissist, because once the empath becomes aware, they stop reacting, they stop explaining, they stop absorbing, they stop fixing, and the narcissist feels the shift immediately. Narcissists don't fear losing love, they fear losing control. And when the empath wakes up, they stop giving emotional supply. They stop feeding the narcissist's ego. They stop responding to manipulation. They stop apologizing for things they didn't do. They stop chasing. They stop explaining their feelings. They stop absorbing the narcissist's chaos. The narcissist suddenly realizes, I can't control them anymore. And that terrifies them, because the empath's silence is louder than any argument. Their distance is more powerful than any confrontation. Their clarity is more dangerous than any revenge. When an empath wakes up, they don't become cold. They become wise. They don't become manipulative. They become aware. They don't become heartless. They become selective. This is where the empath transforms into something the narcissist never expected: a self-aware empath, a grounded empath, a boundary-setting empath, a dark empath. Not because they're dark, but because they finally understand the shadows. This version of the empath is untouchable. The narcissist will try everything: love bombing, guilt, silent treatment, projection, playing the victim, future faking, but nothing works anymore. Because the empath now sees the pattern. They see the cycle. They see the truth. And once an empath sees the truth, they never unsee it. The narcissist loses control not because the empath fights back, but because the empath walks away with clarity. If you're an empath who's waking up right now, you're not becoming harder. You're becoming wiser. You're not losing your heart. You're learning who deserves it. You're not changing into someone new. You're returning to who you were before the world tried to dim your light. And that version of you, that's the version the narcissist can never control again.